Scott West, Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2000. Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2001. Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2001. My name is Daniel Scott West. Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2001. Productions. I'm reading Central News, continuing story, and documenting. I think I'll start from the top. Chapter 1, Central News, Feral Cat, Evil Librarian, Familiar Lover. Do you like coffee? Settling into my chair, I was uneasy. Mid-June was unusually cool, and the day was oddly calm. Stirring my white mocha, famous to the locals, and favorite to the patrons of Has-Bean's Coffee, I was drifting into thought as I noticed that the shadow of my cup stayed frozen as I picked up my coffee to sip. I looked down at my watch. 10 after 10, the second hand stopped. I leaned back in my chair on guard. Hey, what's your name? I looked up. A woman standing above me came out of thin air, smiling sweetly, waiting for a reply. Roman, I replied, as she forced back a giggle and snorted. Wait here, I want to talk to you. Puzzled and intrigued, I wasn't going anywhere. Looking around, this woman was looking around. Everywhere except for this woman was frozen in time. My cup gave off no heat, and the coffee was stiff. I set my cup carefully back into its shadow. The mysterious woman emerged from the coffee shop, sipping from a large cup. Carefully holding her cup, I adjusted myself in my chair and picked up my hot cup as she sat down in the chair next to me. I waited for an introduction and leaned forward, excited to find out more as the woman giggled. As she set her coffee down, her eyes were deep blue, her hair was black as oil. The beautiful woman leaned over her cup on the coffee table, smiling as she looked me up and down as if she was shopping at a flea market. She giggled as she chose the words to say. You'll do. Before I could think of a reply, she added, do you want to go for a ride? She pointed to a car across the street, silver and covered in bumper stickers, a fat women devil. I smiled and said, hell yeah. Central News, Feral Cat, Tumbleweed. I will name you Tumbleweed. I asked, what do I call you? Pouting her lips, she said, Lucy. You can call me Lucy. I forced back a chuckle and sneezed. She glanced over at me and bit her pouting lip and said, I think we'll have fun. We drove towards the woods. I woke in a cottage covered in blankets, softly caressing Lucy's milky skin as she purred. Strange as if the events of yesterday, the has-beens, weren't strange enough. Lucy was fast asleep, purring, just like a cat. I kept petting. I loved her purr. I loved her giggle, and the strange looks on her face as if she was replying to my thoughts. Breakfast. I'm cooking breakfast. I was hoping to be done before you woke. I guess there is no hiding the smell of bacon and eggs. Slinking out of bed, I glanced as Lucy slowly approached me, her beautiful naked skin and bed-tossed hair flowing wet fresh from the long night. I flipped the bacon as she asked softly, how do you cook bacon in the nude? I chuckled, carefully. Lucy creeped up and tugged at my loin. Let's get breakfast and go right back to bed. I smiled, shut the burner off, and meowed at her. Lucy's eyes widened as she reached out for my loin again. Back into her overstuffed pillow top. Light was fading behind the redwood trees. We emerged from Lucy's bedroom. The chill of the evening was setting through the cottage. I started lighting candles as Lucy prepped the fireplace. as if we always were together. We moved as one, gliding and dancing, gliding as a dance, cleaning and prepping the cottage for the night. I wondered where she came from as we danced in harmony. No question. For this moment, we were perfect, and I knew that Lucy knew the same thing. I wanted to know more about this woman, knowing as Lucy what magic, what mystery will we share together. I wanted with all my heart for this moment to last forever, with or without the curse that came with our love. Central News, charming print. Can you draw a pretzel? 4th of July was hot and balmy day. At the solstice peak, Jessica and I were on our first stakeout together. We were on monster watch. The sun was just setting, all was quiet, and Jessica was having trouble with impressive drawing. I woke just outside the car, sprawled out behind the trunk of Jessica's blue Hyundai. We got word about a body snatcher. I skipped a page. I gotta go back one page. Okay, 2 pages back. I skipped 2 pages. I gotta go back 2 pages. Separation and will. It hurts. We gotta stop bleeding. I got to seal the wound. Bite down. The smell of burnt flesh arose, swirled in smoke as I soldered the slashes across Lucy's wrists. Both were ugly wounds and had to be mended quickly. What happened? I shouted to Lucy as she looked down at her wounds, now scarring. She cut me. The hag cut me, I replied in question. You were sleeping? Yes, damn it. I was asleep when I was attacked. She told me to stay away from you. Lucy sobbed loudly. My heart tore as I quietly placed my first aid kit down and melted, holding Lucy and rocking her until her sobs ended. Wait, what are we going to do? I dare not ask aloud. I thought, what are we going to do? I dare not ask aloud. We are definitely in danger. Even with Lucy's cottage covered in protection charms, vapors and dream sages work for the hag, and we have no protection against shapeless demons and night terrors. The look on Lucy's face told me that she wanted to fight the hag. I was willing to fight next to my Lucy, these woods, this cottage, and our cottage, our fight and magic with the rules of the sacred Trinity. Our will to love was all we needed. Lucy is my librarian and I am her book. Hazing moon gave warning as I stacked the wood next to the fireplace. Lucy and I have been together now for 3 Beltanes, and since the day of Lucy's scars, we have grown close. I guess nothing about the assault, knowing only that our union was fate, that our curses crossed at the time left for us from beyond the veil. Lucy reading her noir novel from the grocery store. All was calm and oddly time was a steady beat. A constant Lucy's gift is time bending, augmenting perceptions and slowing the inertia of all things, as well causing slight kinetic ripples in given space. Vertigo is the name of her charm. There is no telling how her curse affects her karma, but she is in well control of her gift. My curse complements hers almost like a key to a lock. Astro travel and spatial alignment, pitcher and catcher. Charming print. Do you ever have one of those days where you swear that it was a different day in the week, or you had a photo in an album that you knew was different, that somehow life itself was for certain completely different than you remember? I was on a train traveling home when an echo rang in my ear, a familiar sound, a voice, someone I never met, passing by my compartment. A name faded, and I found myself standing at a ticket booth, waiting to purchase a train ticket. A wrinkle in time can only happen when you are meant to forget something or somebody. I felt hurt, as if there was something that somebody said that hurt me. Yet there was no memory of a conversation that could explain my pain. Lucy, a name flashed in my mind, as if an explanation was found from my abstract emotion. Lucy, who's Lucy? It doesn't matter. I probably wasn't supposed to know it anyway. The newspaper that I work at is, well, odd. We study and report monsters and magic in everyday life. For people who believe or at least want to know of the realms, misuses of magic and exploits of the heroes in our separate world from the in-between. My boss and head editor is High Priestess and works at the library. Well versed, her name is Bethany, but I swear that she goes by another name. Fast on the beat of a special interest story, code for meat. A monster known only as a body snatcher. Very little is known other than a trail of carcasses in the same description, right down to the hair color and shoe size. Likely snatches humanoids of its original description. Legally, we list body snatchers as ID thefts. Here at Central News, we always mean something other than what is. The rules of magical and universal balance depends on discretion. Not everyone can handle the truth. Roman at Central News. Charming print. Can you draw a pretzel? 4th of July was hot and balmy day at the Solstice Peak. Jessica and I were on our first stakeout together. We were on monster watch. The sun was just setting, all was quiet, and Jessica was having trouble with her pretzel drawing. I awoke just outside the car, sprawled out behind the trunk of Jessica's blue Hyundai. We got word about our body snatcher. It sounded almost like our case file on the shapeshifter in Little Tokyo. Multiple sightings of a person or persons wearing dark clothing, rampaging through the wholesale market. Body snatcher will kill a host and take the form of a person and only goes through one transition. Shapeshifters mimic a person and can go through many transitions before acquiring its final form. Both equally potentially dangerous if provoked. Body snatchers are absolutely deadly. Both most commonly target forms of special needs clients, or special needs and mentally challenged persons. I checked in late to Central News. I don't know how long I was out, but I had to turn in my library card and station pass until further notice. Caution protects the company and staff and the public. 3 weeks before re-entry process can even begin. In meantime, I'll be footwork and indie jobs, or as Central News calls it, greeting cards for promo work. Roman at Central News. Side note: Station Pass has a disclaimer on it. Disclaimer says, requests Station Pass. Roman, do you accept this Station Pass with all your mind? That includes memory. And of course he accepts it, if he still has his pass. If he doesn't have his pass, he gets his memory back. He has to give his mind, body, and soul sort of to his job. That's a side note. Another side note: the hunters know when someone is away from the library, and these are dark times. Don't trust anyone with this file. Central News, Al's Pizza, Part 1. Temple of the Dragon. Entering Chinatown as a normie is the way you'd think a family vacation would be. There is a reason people vacation in the summertime, and if you follow me through this corridor, you can never return to a normal life without a lobotomy or at least a major mental health evaluation. Traditions run deep in Chinatown as the wise are tested A foolish tourist wrongs a waitress at the Golden Dragon stir fry and disappears just after skipping tip. I got a call from Al about a worried sister and nephew of the missing tourist and decided to stroll down through corridor number 7 of Central City. Bunny, what a serious name, indicating great danger and caution. Chinatown is full of charming symbols and mysterious knickknacks, perfect size to travel with and take home. My contact, Bunny, wore many specific charms that to the common tourist seemed whimsical, eye-catching, and almost forced a comment. Bunny is a soul catcher, a witch, and a good friend. Seen dancing often at the Golden Dragon, topless and full nude, for the right price, private dances. Today she was out of character and was waiting for me outside the chai tea shop. Al told me you were coming. Anything good? I asked. You like it bloody? Bunny replied. Finally got the bastard you guys were looking for. I replied, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. The Snatcher. Yum. Okay. You read my column. Yeah, and Jessica now runs your column. Bunny most definitely has something I don't on my file, separate than the news. Central News, postcards and love letters. Al's famous pizza. Bunny hands me $300 and a card. It reads, Meet me at private show. You're booked VIP 9 p.m. special. Don't come by any sooner. We need to talk. Bunny. Quickly, then Bunny quickly. See, that needs to be edited. I stuffed the bills quietly in my pocket and walked out of Chinatown. I looked for more information. I lurked around Al's turf, knowing that I might seem desperate. Sure enough, Bob, one of Al's smokers, came out of the shadows. Bob is shadow. Came out of a shadow from the far end of a tunnel wall. So I'm just gonna say shadow instead of Bob. That needs to be edited. A smoker is a phantom or a being with or without solid form. They usually leave a greasy stain on solid material such as tunnel walls. Don't even think about pissing one off. They have a tendency to pull extra grease spot on any solid surface. You hungry, Roman? Yeah, revelation, I replied, as the smoker materialized. He answered, You lost your famous sense of humor. I'm getting older, Shadow. I'm getting old, Shadow. These days, time's a challenge on its own. And yeah, I'm hungry. Let's avoid Al for a few days, Roman. He's busy with early tourists. Glad you're still alive. Yeah, you too, Shadow. 4 p.m. slithered by, and I hung out with the smoker, daydreaming of a few nights I had with Bunny. Almost coincidentally, how I first met Shadow. Ages before Bunny was a soul catcher, and moments before I met Lucy. I was a normie, like Alice in an invisible wonderland. I was oblivious of realms and corridors, hell, and many forms of nirvana, known only to upper management at Central News. Central News at that time was, as is to most normies, a train station in Central City. Chowing down in Little Italy, Shadow gleamed pleased that I chose his family neighborhood to eat. Shadow snapped his fingers and another dish was placed in front of me. What the hell happened to you, man? I heard you became a skin suit. I snapped suddenly, no longer hungry. The timing of Shadow's question was off. I paused to swallow my half-chewed spaghetti and giant meatballs. A desperate look was better than I thought. My desperate look was better than I thought. I replied, What do you mean? Shadow attempted again. Guessing something was up, he poked lightly. Rumors say that you were attacked the other day. Giving Shadow room to respond with thought, I added, my job is on hold until further notice, and I'm broke. That's what I thought, Shadow replied. Where are you going to be tomorrow? Chinatown, I answered. Oh, Bunny. She's got you interested. She's got your interest up. Be careful, Roman. She's a bounty hunter, and you don't ever know who's paying for her skills. I got to go, friend. You be safe. Yeah. You keep your head on those solid shoulders, Roman. 11 p.m. rolled around. I was standing out behind the Golden Dragon stir fry, waiting for Bunny. The lights went on and the bouncer popped out of a blur that can only be seen at this time nightly. Any other time you never see due to charms. Bunny is gorgeous and very deadly. One could almost forget that Bunny eats men, and since bounty hunting doesn't require her to bring a whole body for bounty, she does pretty well for herself. My VIP was met up by a bouncer at the special entrance of the Golden Dragon. I knew a new guy. They usually don't have a lot of turnover. I was surprised this guy wasn't enchanted and most definitely wasn't meat. I can't wait to find out what the hell is going on. I was sure that Bunny was giving me hints. I slowly pull out Bunny's cash from my lapel pocket as I entered the back chamber. Bunny was already stripping as I entered the room. Her eyes were searching as if she was trying to speak with her eyes. Just a dance. Translated. Shit, Bunny is in trouble, and there's only one way out. I slowly sat down in the VIP and placed the money on the table in front of me. Bunny wasn't wearing any charms, and only gunfire works in this place. Bunny danced to the music. Then it struck me. I focused and started tapping my feet. Time dilation. To the frequency of the music, I could pull the invisible strands of sound long enough to create glimmers of light and possibly hold it long enough for Bunny and I to disappear in plain sight. The problem is, last time I got close to a glimmer, all that was seen was sparks of light as if camera bulbs were going off in the crowd. Here goes nothing. The music matched Bunny's rhythm perfectly, and as I searched her frame, I caught her aura and held tight. Sparks grew around her body as she looked at me, amazed. Time seemed to have stopped. I grabbed Bunny by the hand and ran out the door. What was that? Crazy, huh? No, what the hell just happened, Roman? I pulled you out of a hat, Bunny. Stop joking, Roman. I mean, the light show, Glimmer. The light show, Glimmer. It's been a long time, Bunny. When we met, I was barely fresh meat. Glimmer, huh? I'm sure you'll explain later. Yep, let's go. Where are we going, Roman? Rabbit hole. What? Smoker's safe house. Funny. Yep. That's what I got so far. To be continued. What happens next is possible two ways. Either the Glimmer doesn't hold long enough for Roman and Bunny to get to the safe house, or that they hold the Glimmer long enough to get all the way. I'm thinking the prior versus the latter. I'm thinking, as I write, it'll turn out better if the Glimmer fails at any given moment while they're getting out. Of course, Bunny is half dressed. She was in the middle of stripping when I grabbed, or not me, when Roman grabbed Bunny out of the very dangerous situation. the situation is most likely mob related, and normies, watch groups, magical watch groups, witch hunters, and monster hunters, hunting and taking over domains of the magical realms. Daniel Scott West, Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2001. My name is Daniel Scott West, Atomic Frog Productions, copyright 2001. I'm the author of Central News. Main character is Roman. I'm right outside the right outside the conference center where they have the sci-fi convention. I'm hoping to have something for Dark Comics by 2013, and maybe have a vendor's license for a booth instead of just guest pass at the 2013, 2004, well, it might be 2014 by the time I get to that point. But 2013 is a goal to finish the story. I started at IPRC in Portland, writing. Well, starting right, I wrote a story called Portland Noir. Didn't get very far, and it slowly got cannibalized into Central News, because any given city there's a central point where things happen, and a lot of mystery and magic. Definition of magic, for instance, a lot of mystery is things where fiction and fact blur together, where danger is. Definition of magic is exploration of mystery, of the unknown, says Webster's Dictionary. I'm hoping to have a very good conclusion to the story. I think the story's come along fairly well so far. Of course, I'm still in my first draft as of this date in March 12th, 13th, something like that, 2012. And my brother's about ready to graduate from school up in Bozeman. He's living in Belgrade with his wife and family. And my mom's missing the hell out of me up in Montana, so I need to call her today. Let's just keep that note anywhere I can, just so I don't forget, because I have a tendency to forget to eat lunch. So if I'm not careful, I get caught up in these stories. So yeah, I think that's all I got right now. To give you a little more background, I think I have in previous 30-minute videotapes on these -R DVDs through my Canon video camera I bought in Los Angeles at a wholesale market. And hopefully this month turns out. I checked in with St. Vincent de Paul here in San Diego, and I gotta check in every day until I get a spot, but I gotta save 60% of my 66% of my checks every month as I attempt to get in, and I have a method for doing that, and so being able to continue with my project. So hopefully it all turns out, and I might have something for screenwrite, for a possible low-budget movie, or a comic book. Those are my two hopeful options. And thank you for listening and watching, and hope to keep going. All right, thanks. Have a wonderful life. Yeah, seagulls are mean. Seagulls are really mean. You're all the seagulls, and only us.
That's not intelligent either. I watch for people, not just birds.
We are the eternal damned. For centuries we have walked among you. We could be anyone. We could be anywhere. We were everywhere. We ruled the night, then the war began. A silent war, fought in the shadows of night's embrace. Bounties were placed on the heads of all vampires, creating a new class, vampire hunters. I am a hunter, unlike all the others. Hated by vampires for what I do, and by mortals for what I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, step right up. Behind this curtain lies a ghastly concoction of delight, horror, fantasy, and terror. Your every wish is our command, your every whimsical desire brought to life. But I'm warning you, there's always a price. Welcome to the greatest show on earth!